Recently, gold has skyrocketed from a low of 1800 all the way up to a recent move 1930 being hit last Friday. Today, we're going to be discussing a setup that I'm watching for on gold going into this week and discussing it in detail, why I'm looking to potentially buy gold and where I would actually be interested in doing that with stop loss placements, all that sort of good stuff. Let's jump in. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. My name is Nick. I share trading tips and ideas every single day here on YouTube. And if you're new, I want to invite you to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe as we take a look at gold here today, which again, recently has been explosive. We're looking at a 1 hour chart and you can actually just see the most recent price action shooting all the way up to 1929. And a lot of people are watching gold and they're probably looking to try and sell this. And let me give a quick disclaimer. Very often what we see is retail traders tend to be very short on something that is trending up and very long on something that is trending down. Unfortunately, when it comes to retail traders, they tend to be on the wrong side of the trend very, very often. And so we're going to take a look at that. We'll talk about retail sentiment. We'll talk about what big players are doing, whether smart money is buying or selling or even shorting gold, and we'll discuss that in detail. So the first thing I want to show you is, of course, the daily chart. And if we look at the daily chart, you can see we've got a pretty explosive uptrend right now. 2023 seems to be starting out very positive for gold and pretty much just melting to the upside right now. And one of the big catalysts for this, if we talk about fundamental analysis for a moment, is that recently the Federal Reserve has, they've been rate hiking like crazy, which has caused a lot of downward pressure on the gold market, right? As people basically flock into the dollar, and if the dollar goes up, then the gold market relatively oftentimes goes down, especially considering if the dollar is more expensive, it makes it harder for people outside of the US to purchase gold with dollars because, again, the dollar is more expensive. So just a little context there fundamentally. Now, on top of that, CPI numbers, however, have recently actually been coming down, right? Inflation is on the decline. And with that decline, we also see the dollar coming down. So if you're going to be trading gold, if you're going to be paying attention to gold, you've got to also be paying attention to the US dollar, because these two things are oftentimes in a lot of competition with one another. And with the dollar coming down rather strong to the downside, with CPI numbers coming out lower than expected, it gives way to a gold market run. And that's why I've been predominantly bullish, but I want to show you who else is bullish. This is information that might be interesting to you. It's not just me that's bullish, it's actually institutional traders. And let me just fix my camera just a bit here. Looking at the institutional data is what we can see, is that we're looking at the non-commercial COT data. And this data is basically showing us what each asset, what institutional interest, whether long or short, is on those particular assets. So when we look at, for example, the Canadian dollar is very much shorted by institutional traders, 70.56% short, whereas 29.44% long. Now, if we look down at where gold is on this list, it's one of the most bullish assets on the list. Gold right here. If we take a look at the numbers, the data is in, and 72.36% are long. The contracts opened by institutional traders on the futures market, according to the COT data, are long. And that's a big position to the upside. Not only that, alongside it are cousins of the gold market, oil and platinum. Both of these heavily bought into by institutional traders. And when we see that information, that's telling us some pretty important stuff. We know that big money, which tends to be on the right side of trades, tends to be making money, is already piled into a long position on this gold market run up. And so the question is, do we want to try and fight them and go short, or do we want to go with them and be long? Well, predominantly long. So when we look at this chart, what I'm looking for is pullback plays. Watching this week, we of course have put in our high around 1929 and have pulled back off of those highs. As we near support, I think you may have an opportunity to potentially pick it up on the long side at the 50% retracement level around 1898. Looking for a continuation move predominantly, and looking for it to at least head back to the highs, but really to even take out those highs and continue that upward trend. Now, I'll talk entry and stop loss in just a moment. What I want to add one more thing to you is we looked at the smart money, but what about retail traders? What do they think about gold? And what you can probably imagine is that if the institutional traders are buying this thing like crazy, the retail traders oftentimes are on the other side of that trade. And we can see from the data here there's our gold. If we zoom in, we currently have a 30% of retail traders are long, only 30%, and a whopping 70% of retail traders are short XAU USD. Knowing this information is key. To put yourself in the right direction of the trade, I oftentimes will use the Edge Finder to help me find the answers that I'm looking for. So if you are not already using the Edge Finder, by the way, we do have access to the Edge Finder available. The link is down below in the description, and a promo code is available if you want to purchase the tool. You can also sign up for a free trial on our website as well. Just click that link, follow the instructions there, and you can get yourself a free trial if that's something you're interested in. But what we've done is we've looked at retail sentiment, we've looked at smart money, and we've seen what their positions are. Now let's take a look at the chart. Again, I say this very often, but retail traders, what they do is most retail traders only look at technical analysis. They only look at the chart and they make a decision off of that. And sometimes that can work just fine, but knowing the other components like fundamental analysis, what we talked about with the inflation concept, and sentiment analysis, looking at what smart money is doing, as well as retail traders, what they're doing, can be insight that can be very useful to our trading. So knowing what I know now, I am bullish biased on the gold market, but only if we can catch a pullback to something like this. So I'm still using the technical analysis, but I'd like a 50% retracement in order to potentially get long. And let's talk about entries. So I'd probably be looking to get long around 1900, 1898, somewhere in that range with a buy trade, right? Small size, of course, as always, keeping things small, risk management tight. Stop loss in this case would be below the 61.8% for me. Looking for, again, if price comes down, I don't mind if it tests that 61.8, but I don't want it to break it. If it breaks it, I'm out of the trade. Now, in terms of a target, if you are familiar with my trading style, you know I don't use a strict take profit, but I'd be looking to trail my stop loss into profit should we be able to break through the previous high. That's how I like to manage a trade. Now, if I actually take this trade, the alert and updates with that will come inside of our Discord channel. If you're not already inside of our Discord, it's where I share all my trades. I took an excellent trade on gold last week, as well as the S&P 500. We made some really good profit. Trailed the S&P for over 1,000 pips, and the gold market as well for just around 400, 450 pips last week. So really crazy good moves last week, and we're looking to see if we can catch some pullbacks this week. So if I take that trade, you'll be able to see it inside of the Discord channel. If you're not already in the Discord, it's the VIP link that is linked in the description down below. By the way, if you guys want to join our Discord channel right now, there is a sale going on using the link and promo code that is in the description. You can join access to the Discord or get your hands on a copy of the Edge Finder if that's something you're interested in. Using that promo code, you can get a major discount off of the products. So check it out, link and info in the description. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Gold, an interesting story, but also in reference to that dollar, which looks very weak overall. And as we potentially see some retests, again, the dollar broke through key levels of support, now could act as supply. So when we talk about this in reference to the gold market, I think it's probably due for a pullback, right? We're probably due for a retracement. But once you get that retracement, my opinion would be, okay, I think we should roll over on the dollar, continue to crash lower with this downward trend, and that should give way to things like the S&P and gold. Both of those things are top of my watch list right now for possible long trade scenarios. So there you go, guys. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll do more of these videos in the future for you. I hope that you got something out of it, and we'll see you next time. It looks like you made it to the end of one of my videos. Thank you so much for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. And down below in the description, I put together some of my best resources for aspiring traders who are looking to improve. I've got some free downloads that could help you, some broker recommendations, and if you'd like to join our Discord or get access to some of our trading software, all of that will be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.